Well, welcome to the Dare to Be Great, Dare to You podcast. My name is Shawn Langwell, and I am your host. And I started this show because if you like honest, vulnerable, and real stories about what it takes to not only become great, but self-confident and bold enough to be yourself, then this show is for you. This episode is going to be super, super brief because it's about some things that I have coming up and what I had an opportunity to do today, which was the first of a series of workshops that are designed to help people move from where they are to where they want to be. It's about closing that mindset gap between what we think we are and what we think we are capable of, and actually putting our feet forward one foot at a time to make things happen. And the workshop I did today, that's also going to be repeated on February 7th and March 7th, is called Beyond Goal Setting. It's not a how-to, it's not a why-to, it's really looking underneath the hood to figure out what it is exactly that matters to you and what's in the way of you accomplishing what you want. At the end of the day, all of us get stuck in some form or fashion, whether it's writer's block, whether it's starting a goal and then giving up. I mean, right now it's the 10th of January, and there's lots of people that had resolutions and they've already given up on them. They may have only done a little thing, or like they said in Habits, put on their shoes and made their way to the gym, but that was as far as they got. So what I'm rolling out between now and the end of April, probably the end of May, is a series of workshops specifically designed to help you go from where you're at to clarify what your goals and ambitions are, but more importantly, to reframe and reshape how we think about the things that are important to us. And here's just a short list of things that I have coming up. Before I dive into those, though, the one project that I'm more excited about than anything else is this year is the 10-year anniversary of my very first book, Beyond Recovery. I am in the final stages of production of writing a 10-year anniversary edition with a new forward and an epilogue, and kind of bookending it over what's happened in the last 10 years. And it's not just a book about recovery, it's a book for the families and dysfunctional families, including adult children of alcoholics and those who identify with the various codependent issues that come along with the disease of alcoholism, in particular, Al Anon. This is not a 12-step book. This is my experience. I do not speak for any of the 12-step programs out there. But the book in and of itself is a raw, real, vulnerable telling of my story and how I navigated the big challenges, predominantly the anger and resentment I held when my dad took off when I was 12, and how that led to a life of self-destruction in a very fast, short amount of time. How between high school and college, I basically was real close to slowly, killing myself by drinking myself to death. And how I came out of that. And now what I'm working on with some of these workshops is taking that core of who I am and what I've learned over the last 40 years. I got sober in October 10th of 1986. So this is also my upcoming 40-year anniversary. And I have an obligation, and I just feel it in my gut that I need to tell this story and share this story, not just from a recovery standpoint, but from an emotional maturity and an emotional sobriety standpoint. So, some of the workshops that I'm rolling out and the other books that I have in the fold, the next one after this will be No Regrets Before I Die. And that's all I'm going to say about it. That topic came up when I was in the middle of writing 10 Seconds of Boldness. And my editor's like, dude, you need to start with that. Don't bury the lead. That is a phrase that people understand. So, everything that I'm doing from this point forward hinges upon this core of emotional sobriety, staying sober, spirituality, honoring who I am as a human being, and understanding the the tenuousness of how short and brief life is. No, I do not want to wake up and be one of those guys that's, 80, 85, 90 years old on his deathbed going, oh, I wish I would have. And I don't think anybody out there wants to either. So to that end, I've spent the last 3.5, 4 months putting together a series of well thought out, well outlined workshops, if you will, for those who are at a place where they are ready, willing, and able to want to start to address some of the things that keep cropping up and preventing you from moving forward with your life. We all have the same exact things. Not all of us process or respond to the same challenges or even different challenges in the same way. But there are some through lines, if you will, that I've discovered in the last 40 years that is they're primarily what I'm going to share and how to navigate your way through these choppy waters, if you will. Life is what happens when we show up. And whether we show up or not, it's still going to keep marching forward. So here's just a short list of what I have coming up. Today was the first day of a workshop, a free workshop called, it's a free masterclass called Beyond Goal Setting. I will do that again on February 7th and again on March 7th. It's a free workshop. Anybody in any background is welcome to attend. There are opportunities to sign up for some of the other workshops at the end, depending on what time frame of which one you sign up for. But here's the other list of what I have coming up. So on January 24th, 26th, and 20 or 31st, I'm going to be doing a series of workshops that are about goal setting. And where the heck did that go? I just had the darn thing. So outside of for the remainder of this month in January, I've got January 24th, which is a Saturday at 10 o'clock. We're going to do a radical willingness workshop. We'll also repeat that and skew it more towards building leadership skills. So the first one's going to be for anybody of any background, walk of life, just show up. The costs for these are anywhere from $35 to $55, all inclusive. On the 26th, again, as I mentioned, Master Radical Willingness Workshop for building leadership skills. On the 31st, we will do a Radical Willingness Workshop for developing emotional sobriety. And then come February on the 7th, we'll have the free Beyond Goal Setting Workshop. And at the end of the month, we're going to transition into the second, third, and fourth, and eventually the fifth steps of my 5-step method. So February is all about clarity and forward motion. The workshop in February on the 23rd will be Stop Chasing Your Goals and Dreams. And then on Saturday, the 28th at 10 o'clock in the morning, it will be The Power of Getting Started Right. Now, in March, also in February, actually, let me back up. In February, if you're a writer and you happen to have the resources to want to show up at the San Francisco Writers Conference, I will be a presenter of a personal growth track, closing out a personal growth track on Saturday, February 14th at the San Francisco Writers Conference at the Hyatt downtown. It's at the Embarcadero there, right across from the Ferry Building. Coming up in March, we will shift gears into presence and self-awareness. Saturday, March 21st at 10 o'clock in the morning, I will be teaching on mastering the art of presence and self-awareness. I will also be presenting that same program, only geared more towards writers and entrepreneurs at the the Napa Writers Club meeting on April 11th at 10 o'clock, called again, The Art of Presence. And then on Saturday, April 25th, we're going to transition into the action orientation. That will be entitled One Bold Move. That's Saturday, April 25th, 10 o'clock in the morning. There's a lot more to come beyond that, but I just want to put it out there and also give a shout out to those who have supported and followed this podcast. You are the lifeblood. When I see the engagement and I see people sharing it out on social media and I hear my guests talking about it, this is something that I do not charge for. This is something I do not monetize with advertising until it blows up. I don't think I ever will, because this is something that is important enough to me to want to share with the world. And the beauty of doing the podcast is it doesn't have to be me talking all the time. Like, for example, the workshop we did today, there are a handful of people that signed up, and there's only a handful that showed up. But the participation level of each and every person that showed up and who was vulnerable, people I barely even know, most of them I'd never met before, blew me away. People are hungry to be able to tell their story, to break out of their shell, and to live a more courageous, confident life without looking over their shoulder, worrying about what the heck other people are going to think. And that's what I'm all about. I'm here, and my mission and purpose is really to love and inspire people to believe in themselves. And anything and everything that I do is going to always come back to that center core. And the reason I'm so passionate about this is because when I first got sober back in 1986, I was a scared, scrawny little scared puppy, and I was afraid of my own shadow. It took me a long, long time of learning the hard way of how to grow up and how to become more mature. I've always been a responsible individual, but when it came to the emotional side of things, I had no tools. I didn't have the skills necessary to interact, to trust my own beingness, to be involved in an intimate relationship. I didn't know what intimacy was all about. So what we're doing over the next 4 or 5 months here is really taking a look inside, and then we'll start looking at ways to express the inside is outward into other expressions of applying what you'll learn by taking a look in the mirror and going inside, applying that to our work, to our finances, to our relationships, to all the things that make us human that we get to interact with and be a part of on a daily basis. So I hope you'll join me. Again, if I'm going to load this up on my website, I don't know if I'll get to it this weekend, but um, come join me. Look it up. All the events are on Eventbrite. If you search for my name, it should pop up. And I look forward to seeing some of you there. And if our paths don't cross in the next couple months or so, I hope that you have a very prosperous and fun and joy-filled 2026. And remember this, it's a slogan on the back of my business card. Be bold because life's too short to let it be ruled by fear. My name is Shawn, and I am the host of Dare to Be Great, Dare to Be You. Tune in next time.